Awaken to play. Hopefully things are going well for you guys as for me. Welcome to the Gamer Man's Lounge. I am Lord of the Gamer Man's Lounge, here with the video game classics, and when it comes to our video game classics videos, we go to games of the past, and I review individual retro games and go through individual retro games and basically say what I like and say if I like it or not. That's the idea. And today, we're going to be having a good time because we're going to be covering the 3D era's beginning, the PS2 trilogy, starting with Grand Theft Auto 3, because Grand Theft Auto 3 was when Grand Theft Auto finally went 3D. Get it? Grand Theft Auto 3? 3D? Hey, wild, I know. Alright, enough with the jazz music. Yes, I am reviewing Grand Theft Auto 3. Welcome to Liberty City. The day you first visited this place was probably when you bought GTA 3 the minute the series went 3D. No idea where the first two... Oh, right, forgot about London. However, if your first GTA game is 3, I'm not surprised. The beginning of the 3D era for this series has been taken off more from the PlayStation 2 trilogy, and this is where the 3D era began, the PlayStation 2 and Xbox era. GTA 3 was one of the games that made you want a PlayStation 2 in the first place. As we travel to the beginning of the 3D era, was GTA 3 quite a pinnacle, or were the other two entries stealing the spotlight? I know that some of you are going to go ahead and say something, but I will go ahead and say this. Yes, it's going to be one of those moments where I'm going to be playing games of the franchise in a loose order. Like, I previously reviewed San Andreas. Then, I'm now reviewing Grand Theft Auto 3, and now I'm gonna be reviewing Vice City next, then I'll revisit San Andreas next, and then go backwards to the 2D era, and then review GTA 1 and GTA 2. That's gonna be an interesting thing. And yeah, I am planning on revisiting San Andreas. GTA 3 has you going to Liberty City and taking the role of a silent protagonist who got backstabbed by some lady during a heist. After getting caught by the cops and was about to get sent to prison, the transport van carrying you, 8-Ball, and another guy who becomes the point of interest that turns that van into a van subject to a bust-out. The van gets seized by mysterious guys who not just takes the VIP, but decides they're gonna blow up the fucking bridge. Luckily, you already took the situation to your advantage and got you and 8-Ball out of there before the explosion. Thus, the story starting off from the bottom and getting yourself back on your feet begins the very minute your new friend reveals how he has connections. As you start progressing the story missions, things don't become so simple anymore. The Triads and Mafia are beefing with each other over at Portland, the Colombian cartel is selling a new drug that is causing problems, the Yakuza is getting comfy at Staunton Island. Am I saying that name right? Anyway, where are the Colombian cartel guys getting cozy at anyway? And then you have the Diablos, which show up in rare occasions of the story. And this is where I go ahead and throw in a vague sentence that warns of future things without going into spoiler territory. And there it is. Who else is going to start showing up next? As a matter of fact, life is going to start throwing curveballs at you in this game. And that said, you want to be careful because how the story unfolds becomes really fascinating at the end of the day. Grand Theft Auto 3 is where storytelling really starts to advance and focus more towards telling a story. I mean, when it comes to technology evolving in the PlayStation 2 and Xbox era, you end up putting the evolved tech to your advantage. First off, yes, I did forget about Grand Theft Auto London, okay? Second, hold on a minute, I need to get a drink. Half tea, half lemonade, okay? But no, seriously, I noticed something odd with the controls. It could be just me, or the way how Grand Theft Auto 3 controls is entirely different compared to Vice City and San Andreas. And Ford, that's something interesting. Could be just me. I'm pretty sure San Andreas played differently in terms of controls. But the controls of GTA 3 is kind of interesting. Because it's not like you aim with the right stick. No, you don't do that. You just have to just use one of the shoulder buttons to get you facing forward, or you want to look behind you or something like that. Yeah, that was kind of weird. Like, the right analog stick was, like, never utilized for aiming and looking at all. And movement was handled through D-pad and analog stick. It's interesting. I'm not saying the controls are bad. Controls are great. The controls are fine. Okay? You'll have to get used to them. It is what it is. But let's get right on going. The gameplay of GTA 3 is going to be very limited from the start until you advance the main story. Don't get me wrong, it is an open world game, but if you want to go on a fucking rampage the minute you start the game, then go get cheat codes. No one is stopping you. We know you get bored. You just have to start unlocking things by clearing missions, especially the story missions. You will have a ton of items locked from you as you begin the game. However, when you get to sail your first boat, is when you get access to more of Liberty City, and that bridge manages to get repaired. Missions are going to be mostly a bit tough for some people. Expect to fail multiple times until you get the hang of the mechanics and flow of the game. But hold on a moment. There are multiple ways of clearing them, and all you need to do is to be creative. There are missions that will serve as exceptions, and you have to do it as the mission instructs you to do. And there are missions that are timed and force you to clear them quicker, especially as if you are expected to be hijacking sports cars. On free roam mode, you are at most on your own. If you want more weapons and ammo, you have to find the nearest ammunition yourself. Oh, right, ammunition. Also, your healing is received through hovering over specific icons, just like as if you want to lower your wanted level. On missions, relevant places to the mission will begin to show. There's going to be some few exceptions. Getting access to the full map will mean you having to get lucky enough to find one big whole map on your copy of the game. In the game, you only have access to the mini-map, and that is just it. And let's say you get frustrated and you want to vent by going on a rampage, for example. Have fun. However, if you start killing innocents or start running into police cars, for example, you get a wanted star. And you will get more if you keep it up or escalate things by shooting at cops. The more wanted stars you get, the more of an army the cops will summon on your sorry ass. Also, when it comes to the driving, it ain't really difficult. Be careful of when physics and gravity kick in. Also, get ready for cars to explode. The selection of weapons is rather simplistic. You have a pistol, shotgun, SMG, assault rifle, sniper rifle, grenade, Molotov, rocket launcher, and a baseball bat. Out of all the vehicles that you can especially steal, it is a doozy. You have sports cars, vans, trucks, cars, fire trucks, taxis, police cars, ambulances. Can I drive the tank? I want to drive the tank. I will go ahead and say that the open world gameplay is really addicting to this day. Even though Vice City and Forward is going to have more quality of life improvements and steal GTA 3's thunder. Sorry, but no, seriously. You are still going to have a good time in Liberty City. While I am enjoying my time with Grand Theft Auto 3, I do have my issues with the game, but that doesn't necessarily mean I hate it or I'm gonna end up being like, oh, F GTA 3, I'm gonna go to Vice City or San Andreas, it's gonna be better there. No, I don't see myself doing that, but I do have my issues. Not to go about bitching about the game, but as you go from one island to the next, you will get hit with a loading screen. That's, of course, going to end up happening. The game does have its share of graphical glitches, and I felt the need to turn off trails because the visual setting doesn't really appeal to me. Aiming with the sniper rifle or rocket launcher will take practice aplenty, and some missions are ridiculous to complete, but not too ridiculous. The map size of Liberty City is not really underwhelming, but could have been a bit bigger. Aiming and shooting will take practice for some people, and while I do have my gripes about GTA 3, that doesn't mean I have a love-hate relationship with the game. There is plenty good. The music choice for the radio stations are stellar, catchy tunes that you will be addicted upon listening to them. Ambience and sounds of the city makes the city feel really alive. Driving controls are a bit underrated. The selection of cars make driving fun in the first place, and the log-on aiming is really convenient, and there are plenty of extra stuff to consider, like, for example, collecting hidden packages scattered throughout Liberty City. There are actually extra missions to consider alongside the main story missions, especially if you're a completionist. The selection of weapons are perfect for causing havoc and tomfoolery. The storytelling is fascinating, the voice acting is good, designs are well done, and finally, the open world gameplay is the star of the show, and a good time you will have. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it again, okay? I have my gripes with GTA 3, but it's not a bad game. It's a great game. It's a good, enjoyable experience. It's a great experience. I will go ahead and say, Grand Theft Auto 3 is the start of something great for the series. Great gameplay and good amounts of tomfoolery to consider, it is a fantastically put together package, and for that, this is a game I would be recommending for your library. This game is barely anything to be mad at all. It's actually a hell of a good time. Yes, it has its flaws, but it's still a hell of a good time. And that is Grand Theft Auto 3. Is it recommendable? Absolutely recommendable. You'll have a good time with this game. And with that totally said, the PS2 trilogies are the most recommended, okay? Play all three of them when you have the time. Play all three of them. Yeah, play all three of them. Anyway, that's all. I will be looking forward to you in the next video. Peace out.